What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Knick Central. And the Knicks win. It was not a pretty one, but man, do they find a way to get the job done as they beat the Philadelphia 76ers 125 to 119 in overtime. Before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're fans of the Knicks, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. Man, did they make us sweat our tits off, because yet again, this team struggled in the third quarter, and it's starting to feel like a trend, honestly. The fourth quarter wasn't any better, really. It at least didn't feel that way. There were points where it looked okay, but then they started to let it slip away yet again, and without Karl-Anthony Towns, it was a nightmare with how much they were allowing in the paint. And then all of a sudden, you have the three ball incoming for the 76ers, and it was just a nightmare at points in this game. But they get the job done, and it's just infuriating how I am having the same conversation every single night. The offense they looked so good early on both sides of the ball, but they looked so good early on. They were limiting the three ball against them. They were actually making quality shots earlier on in this game. They were moving the ball well early on in the game. And then all of a sudden, as the game progressed, it just fizzled out, and you're starting to see Brunson play ISO ball, and it was causing a little bit of turnovers and helping Philadelphia move in transition a bit, which did worry me towards the end of this game when he was starting to turn the rock over. And I thought that they were going to lose because of it, but they don't, because Precious Achiuwa played his best game of the season, like no doubt about it. And he needs to be the starting five until Cat is ready to go, which they were saying there's an issue there. It's not anything significant. He's not going to need surgery, but it is a little bit of an injury. I don't know how long he's going to be out with it, but he needs to play the five, Precious that is, because Jericho Sims, holy crap, the minutes that he played, I wanted to rip my eyeballs out because it was just putrid to watch. He's not looking at the rim. The free throw attempts, by the way, which he actually made two of them, but the first two, yeesh. And then outside of that, just letting guys walk in, turning it over, trying to inbound the ball. It was just not pretty at all from Jericho Sims yet again. Please play Huck Porty and let Achiuwa get the starting 5 minutes. It's not going to happen, but a man could manifest things, or at least try to. But either way, there were positives with this game. Like, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Mikal Bridges was involved early on. He went for 5 for 10 from downtown, 9 for 19 from the field. He looked solid tonight. OG Anunoby, he had a sloppy game until late in overtime. In overtime, they just outright blew the 76ers out of the water, but he looked a little shaky at points. I'm not liking how many corner threes he's missing, because he attempted 10. He only made three-pointers in total, and a lot of them come from the corner with him. And I thought defensively, even he was shaky way too much in this game. And this team in general, just way too shaky, especially in the third quarter, where yet again, they were allowing a lot of threes. And I know you have to credit the fact that the Sixers were just making a lot of insane shots there, but it's a combination of both things, because this team has really been notorious for not guarding the three ball well, especially over the past few weeks here, and especially in the third quarter, not performing up to par. And it's really annoying, because after the first two quarters, I thought for sure they had this one in the bag, and then it got interesting, and I thought they were going to let it slip away. Overtime, though, they outright just dominated them, and it made it a lot easier at the very least to feel good about this one by the end of it, especially with the way Precious played. I thought Deuce not playing towards the end was a little bit of a disgrace, considering how he played. He had 13 points off the bench today, 4 for 5 from the field, 3 for 4 from downtown. I would have gave him way more minutes, especially with some of the defensive plays he was making late as well, just stripping the ball, as the Sixers are coming up in transition. Josh Hart played great today. He had a triple-double. So there were, again, a lot of positives with this game, but the problem is that there is a lot of similar issues where the third quarter is an issue, and the ball movement that we see early on in the basketball game just goes away. And I don't understand where the play in overtime was in that fourth quarter, because if they played the way they did in overtime in the fourth quarter, we're just talking about a regulation win and we're probably feeling a bit better about it. But I can't get behind the whole thing of, I partially blame Tibbs, but I can't fully get behind it because the Sixers are coming off a back-to-back, and I know that Maxey and George didn't play yesterday for them. They were saying on the broadcast, which that broadcast was terrible today. Don't even get me started, because early on they're talking about how Sims needed to get more involved because you got to let your big man try to get involved early and let him feel comfortable. That tells me they have not watched 1 second of the New York Knicks this year if they think Jericho Sims needed to get involved. He doesn't want to get involved. He doesn't look at the damn rim at all, and he's just out there grabbing boards and then chucking it out and either turning it over or he's putting it in the hands of Brunson, and, you know, they go from there. But I digress. I know that Maxey and George didn't play, but even then, I mean, they're coming off a back-to-back. The Knicks aren't. The Knicks weren't. And I know that these guys lead the league in minutes, but you're getting paid to play better than you should. You're getting paid like your star players, all of you. Play like it. And I'm not saying they didn't. Brunson especially. I thought Brunson, again, had a good performance outside of the turnovers. But, you know, OG Anunoby, sloppy at points. Bridges, he started off good. A little sloppy at points. Not as bad as it's been with him. But at the end of the day, they needed a lot better from this team in the second half. And, you know, this team just didn't give that. But thankfully, they were able to get the win, because if they lost this game, it would have been disgusting. It would have been heartbreaking. It would have been vomit-worthy, because this is one of the teams that you should be beating. There's no excuses there. And they find a way to get it done as they improve to 27 wins on the season, 27-15. And now their next game is also against a team that they should probably beat in the Minnesota Timberwolves. A little bit better, but you should beat them. Atlanta, you should beat. Brooklyn. Like, these are teams coming up that you should be beating, especially if you are regarded as one of the top teams. But I still have a lot of concerns with this group right now, and something doesn't smell right with them at all. And I'm happy that they got the win, but I think we could all be in agreement here. It was an ugly win, and something smells very, very wrong with this team right now. And it has to change. And I don't know how it will. I don't know when it will. But something has to give, because it can't just be Josh Hart being the only one showing up on a nightly basis and giving a quality performance. And again, Brunson gave a good one. Bridges even gave a solid one. Deuce did. Precious. But it needs to be consistent, because Hart gave it his all for every single second he was on the floor today. The other guys I listed who played good, it wasn't perfect games from them. And I get that you're not going to get perfection from them, but because anything could happen throughout the course of a game, but need way closer to it than the sloppiness that we saw at points in this game. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one.